Have you ever created a plan and then when it came to the execution of the plan, everything fell apart? In this video, we're going to talk about how to stay accountable to your law firm growth plan. The key is to start with a plan. If we don't have a plan, the plan can't fall apart. We create a plan. Let's just assume that we have one. Now what? Well, I recently signed up with a health coaching program, and this program is different than most because I check in with my health coach every single day. We have a conversation every single day. And the number one question that she asks me when she gets on the call is, what is your plan for eating today? And it really makes me think about what is it that I'm going to do today, and have I prepared everything that I need? Am I going to execute on that? Without that little conversation, I would be off the bandwagon with my health plan. You need the same thing with your law firm. When you are executing on a plan, it requires thinking about what you're going to do that day and then putting that into action. So how do we make this happen? It all starts with a quarterly plan. The quarterly plan is a byproduct of our annual planning. When we take the quarterly plan, we've identified specific projects that we're going to work on this quarter. Once we have a project identified, the next step is to take that project and to break it down into its main components. If it's a full 90-day project, we like to break it down into 3 components so you can have each one assigned to a month. But there isn't any specificity here. It can be whatever makes sense for that project. Now that we've broken it down into components, we're then going to try to break it down into weekly chunks. So each component gets assigned to 1 or more weeks. At the beginning of the week, you take that week's chunk of that project and you figure out, what am I going to do on each day this week? Now, here is why we save this for the week. Heading into the week, you know what your calendar looks like. You know if you have court on Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday, and therefore you're not going to be able to get to an action item on that day. You have to work this plan around your schedule and your other requirements to make sure it gets done. So now we take our weekly plan and we chunk it down into the specific days that we're going to execute on that. Now, here's the thing. There needs to be a system that you use, whether you're using a digital calendar or whether you're using a physical journal or planner. With our clients in the Elite Coaching Program, every single 90 days we ship them a 90X action planner. The 90X action planner has their top 3 things. So these are the 3 projects they're working on every single day that they've identified. Only below that is all the to-do items that they need to work on. You can do the same in your law firm. If you start every day knowing what you need to do that day, the likelihood of you achieving that and actually finishing the plan, completing the project is pretty great. So now you know how to map out your plan and have it correlate to the specific days. The last piece of the puzzle is to break this down into a routine that you're going to do daily. And what I learned from Michael Hyatt, a well-known business author and productivity coach, is to have a startup routine for your day and a shutdown routine at the end of the day. And it looks something like this. When you come into the office, before you open your email, before you do anything, you spend a few minutes just thinking about, what is it that I need to accomplish today? What are my CEO level things? What are my obligations that have to happen today and all the rest of the business? And then what are the to-do list items that I want to get to? And in that order is how I'm going to execute and achieve them. At the end of the day, there's a shutdown routine. Before you leave, take a few minutes to just go through the items you were supposed to do that day. And if you haven't accomplished them, reassign them to the next day. So when you start your startup routine the next day, those things are front and center and are going to get done. So if you want us to help guide you through this process, if you want to stay accountable by having us keep you accountable, if you want to get that planner every quarter and have a quarterly planning meeting with us, you can join our Elite program or check out more about it at profitwithlaw.com/elite.